sit down. It's wild how you sit. Grind your heel in the ground, the groovy way you spit. Ooh, you look good. Ooh, you smell good. Ooh, you taste good. Like a bad girl should. When I
Happy Thursday. I'm the infamous cat herder, Hadley Thorne, here with three of the hottest men writing apocalyptic fiction today. Mr. Allan Big Mike Gamboa, Snakebite Rich Restucci, and the retired man in black himself, Mr. Scott Baker.
Howdy.
Good evening.
Tonight, we've got quite the show, but before we get started, if you would, go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and follow button. Now grab your popcorn and Coke while I'll hand things off to Allan. Hey, Allan.
Hey, good evening, you three. It's good to see you again. It's always good to see you Thursday.
And you.
It's the best, other than seeing my lovely wife, the best part of my week is hanging out with you three. Tonight we have, and we're getting people joining us. And hey, Alanda. Tonight we've got Scream Queens.
Okay.
The four of us picked our favorite queen that screams, and we picked. I don't know if we picked their best horror movie, but we each picked a movie they were in. and don't blame us if it's not your favorite one.
You can blame me for mine.
So tonight we have Starcrash with Caroline Munro, and that's Scott's pick. The Howling, which is my pick, with Dee Wallace. Return of the Living Dead, which is Rich's pick, right?
Yes, sir.
With Linnea Quigley. Did I say that right?
Linnea, yeah.
Linnea. And then we have Hadley's, which is, holy crap, I didn't write that one down. Which one is it, Hadley?
Prom Night with Jamie Lee Curtis, the queen of the screen.
Prom Night with the last girl herself, Jamie Lee Curtis. So we hope you're all having a good Thursday. Mark, Edie, Lee, Landa, it's nice to see you tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, everybody.
It's good seeing you all. You're in for a treat.
Anybody want to start?
You should start.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep going.
My computer's down, so I'm going to lose some figures here. But mine is 1981's The Howling with Dee Wallace Stone, Christopher Stone, her husband at the time. Oh my gosh. See, I lost my computer. Help me out here, folks. Help me out here. I had everything. My computer just went dead.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Power went out. Gosh. John Carradine's in it. Makes a cameo. Robert Picardo makes a cameo.
Slim Pickens.
Slim Pickens.
Pick. Dick Miller. Okay. So 1981, The Howling starts out with news journalist, talking head, Dee Wallace going undercover to help the police capture a serial killer that's in LA that's been horribly killing women, including assaulting them. And so he's been contacting her. So they use her to lure him out. And she ends up in a porno theater, in a porno bookshop, actually.
Yeah.
And in she ends up in one of those little booths where you put a quarter in. Not that I know anything about.
No, you saw it in the movie.
Yeah. Wait, that's a real thing?
I saw it in this movie. He attacks her and is shot by the police that are responding to it and killed. So she has nightmares about this. She can't remember what happened, and she's not doing well. She's got PTSD from it. So she goes to a colony to get help from a psychiatrist played by Patrick Steed of the Avengers. If you remember the old
Patrick Steed.
Yeah, love him. And he's on Battlestar Galactica too. He did the voice of the Cylon Commander, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So anyway, she goes to this colony and with her husband.
Hey, Chloe.
Hey,
Hey, Mike, Allan, David, Lee.
All of you?
Mark.
Yeah.
So she goes to this colony to get her memory back and get healthy and everything. and mysterious things start to happen. Werewolfy things start to happen. And I don't want to ruin it for anyone that hasn't seen it, but it's got one of the cutest werewolf transformations that you'll ever see in a movie.
Cutest, Alan?
Yes. I thought that,
You might have to elaborate a little on that.
well,
At the end.
the werewolf transformation, it's a cute werewolf. Looks more like a husky or something, you know. On
Feeling
purpose.
bad for her.
Yeah, on purpose too. This movie, like I said, was made in 1981, and the special effects guy left this movie to make American Werewolf in London, and he left his apprentice Rob Botton, who did The Thing, in charge of it. And special effects in this movie for practical effects at the time are really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's a little dated now, but the effects at that time were outstanding. And this movie was made for, I think, $1.5 million, and it made like $14 or $15 million at the box office. So it was a hit at the time. And it's got a slew of old actors making a cameo in it.
Yeah.
And it was directed by Joe Dante, who did the Gremlins movies, and he's done some other movies that were Spielberg, Amblin Productions, all that. And it was written by Gary Brandner, based off his novel of the same name. And this movie's a lot of fun. You watch it now; it's a little dated, you know, but it is a pretty solid werewolf movie. And the transformations, like I said, are pretty good. So, hey, Tony.
Hi, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
So, what do you think of this movie?
I'll go. I think before the movie Van Helsing came out, this movie had the best werewolves. For 1981, these things were absolutely fantastic. And all of the actors that Alan was just talking about, all those like cameo and one time, they were all werewolves. So it was great. But there's one scene with Robert Picardo, and he's a werewolf, and I don't want to wreck it for anybody that hasn't seen it, but if you haven't seen it, I mean, come on, it's the Howling.
Yeah.
He just reaches in and he grabs this file with his big, long werewolf claw fingers. It's one of the best scenes in horror movie history.
Yeah.
It really is. That whole scene, that whole thing about it was great.
Yeah. But the way that hand comes into the frame and
literally
grabs
perfect.
I saw that in the theater and nearly died. Sorry.
Absolutely fantastic. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite. It is my favorite, I guess, werewolf movie. Although there are better werewolves in other movies, and there's way worse too. But I love the makeup that they did. It's pretty gory. There's plenty of blood, and especially in the scene that I was just talking about, that end's pretty horrible.
Yeah.
But it's just the way it was done, and the writing and the eeriness of the filmography was fantastic too. When they're at that colony, even during the daytime, you're looking out at the place is beautiful, but you're like, you know what? It's kind of spooky too.
Right.
But when night falls and the fog is coming in, it was just absolutely fantastic. It's like I said, it's one of my favorite horror movies.
Yeah.
I'll leave it there.
The guy that played her director on there, or Rich, his name's Richie, you know, her producer or whatever. He directed Happy Gilmore, Grown Ups, Kids. He did a lot of comedy
That's
movies.
funny.
His name is Dugan, and I thought it was funny that he was in this movie, you know, because there's some humor in this movie also. It's not just all horror.
No.
But it's a lot of fun. Scott?
I love this movie. It came out about the same time as American Werewolf. I don't compare the two because American Werewolf and The Howling did slightly different transformations, but Rob Botton did a great job. One thing I read, the reason they concentrated just on the head was they ran out of money for the special effects. So they figured, well, we can't do the whole body transformation like an American Werewolf. Let's just throw all the money onto the head and shoulders and hands. I agree with you. He is the best werewolf because American Werewolf becomes an animal. He
Right.
becomes a psychotic, deranged human in a werewolf's body. And Picardo played that role perfectly.
He did.
Yeah. And the other thing I like is there's so many other bit characters in it. Forrest J. Ackerman
Yeah.
is in the bookstore with the. Do you know who one of the cops was at the beginning in the
Kenneth-
pornos?
Kenneth Tobey.
Kenneth Tobey from The Thing.
Yep.
It's a good movie. It gets a little boring now. To me, it gets a little boring now and then. But I love it. I saw it in the theater, and like Rich was saying, that scene when she's on the phone and the hand just comes into the screen and grabs the file from her. Everybody in the theater just like, an interesting fact. I met Dee Wallace once at a convention. We talked for about 30 minutes about everything, but we got on the subject of the movie, The Howling. That ending with the cute werewolf was never supposed to be.
Oh, wow.
Remember the scene when and if you haven't seen the movie, hit mute. Remember the scene when the second scene of her transformation, when she's standing there and she's crying and she looks over at her producer and he fires the shotgun? That was supposedly the end scene. She left. She went to do another movie. And during all the reviews, people are like, the test audience is like, no, we want to see her as a full werewolf. So they got her permission and they did it cheaply. They just put that last werewolf scene together quickly. And she told me the first time she sat down and watched the movie, she looked at it and says, oh my God, I'm a were-Pomeranian.
I was just going to say, they hired a corgi to do it.
She said she was so embarrassed when she saw that with her family, but
it fit. It fit.
I don't know. I didn't want to shoot it. I wanted to pet it.
Yeah. But it fit with her character, with the character.
It did. But it is a great movie. I've never seen the other 3, 4, or 5 Howling movies. I mean, why ruin it? It's well written. It's creepy. It's not those cheap jump scares. It really is a creepy movie, and Picardo rules it. As the deranged psychopathic killer, he just was perfect.
Good. Hadley?
This is probably one of the staples of my childhood. I remember going to Blockbuster and getting all of these and watching them back to back. So it's definitely a fan favorite, I think. More importantly, let's talk about Miss Dee Wallace.
Yes.
And that's our Scream Queen.
Yeah.
She had one of the most memorable shrieks in movie history, in horror movie history, with when she began that transformation. And she's phenomenal. And I don't know what else has she been in. The Hills Have Eyes.
The Hills Have Eyes.
E.T.
E.T. She's great. She was a good pick, Allan, and I'm glad that you selected this movie. It does bring back, like I said, being a kid and watching all the horror movies. Every time you go to rent the VHS store,
it seems like she was a few movies where she was Scream Queen, and then she went to playing the mom.
Then she went legit.
Yeah, and then she went to playing. Now she's playing the grandmother.
Yeah.
She had to me, it's like a fast progression from being the final girl, or sometimes not, to being, the mother of the final girl or final boy or whatever you want to call it, and then now being the grandmother in the story. But she's done all kinds. I think she's done horror, but she's done a lot of other movies too, other genres.
Yeah. I think the first thing I remember seeing her in was Cujo. Was she in Pet Sematary?
No, that was Denise Crosby.
Okay. But yeah, Cujo, gosh, that was a terrible, scary movie.
I can't stand that movie.
Yeah.
There's so much good with it, and then there's just that kid screaming in the car for 40 minutes.
Oh,
I'm like, oh my god!
I read the book though, and I think that's
the book's great. You're right. The book is fantastic.
The book's a whole different
Mm.
beast.
It is.
yeah.
Different animal, pun intended.
But that's what made me watch the movie though. So you know,
Same.
and keep in mind that this was like around the time I was like in the 5th or 6th grade that the
Oh.
movie came out. So I mean, it's again, she's great. She was a good pick. I'd never really thought of her as a scream queen.
Well, I always liked her and stuff,
Yeah,
and
me too.
probably from the Howling, on. And I didn't know she was in The Hills Have Eyes till later on.
Mm-hmm.
And she was married to the guy that played her husband, Christopher Stone.
Mm-hmm.
And then he died of cancer, I think, in like the 90s. He was a pretty heavy smoker. And they were in a few movies together. He always kind of played the B movie leading man and TV movie leading man, So after that, she just kind of started making movie after movie,
Yeah.
Well, one thing about her that I really was impressed when I met and talked to her, I had just seen a movie called Boo. Watch it. Don't let the name, and I watched it because of her. It is a really scary, well-written paranormal movie. And she plays the nurse in an insane asylum during the flashbacks. Very good. And I asked her, I said, that was one of my favorite performances. And she told me that as she got older and she was retiring, people would send her scripts, and every once in a while, and now she does it more frequently, if she read a script she really liked, she'd call up, talk to the director for a while, and if the two of them clicked it off, she'd do the movie for him dirt cheap.
Pretty neat.
Just so somebody could say, my movie with Dee
Right.
Wallace.
Right. She gives some legitimacy.
Exactly. And I think that was so nice of her.
That's
She
very
said,
kind.
I don't need it. I don't need the money, but if I can help others out. But Boo, watch it. It is with Dee Wallace. It is, you will not be, this is not like Starcrash or Thanksgiving. This is a good movie. You can trust me on this pick.
Tony's saying that Dee told him when he met her that Cujo was her favorite film to make, even though she broke her leg on doing a stunt. He thinks, and that her and Adrian, is it Barbeau, are the sweetest celebs he's ever met, and I bet they loved on him too.
Yeah. Rich is talking about loving on Tony all the time.
Yeah. Oh, Tony's cute. Look at him. Look at his cute little face. I love Tony.
I can't believe we didn't pick Adrian Barbeau.
Yeah. Right? We could have. Escape from New York.
Yeah, but she had a mind. The only movie she was in that I really enjoyed was The Fog.
The Fog.
She was in Swamp Thing too, wasn't she?
She was in Swamp Thing.
I could not watch Swamp Thing.
As campy as Swamp Thing was, Scott, I can't believe you couldn't watch it.
I probably should, but
well, okay. Hey,
my
Matt.
tastes have declined in movies over the years.
Well, let me tell you what Tina said. She said, "Is that one of Scott's movies?"
Thank you. At least my reputation is solid.
It is
Not
solid.
good, but it's solid.
It's solid with me, brother. All right, Rich, let's go to your movie.
All right. Let me pull over my notes here. If I can find my goddamn cursor. Where is it? Oh, man.
Right there.
My computer's been acting up a lot. I can't get my cursor going.
It's
Where
the
is it?
Russians. It's ever since he got that cell
Yeah,
phone.
right. Yeah. Oh, my God. I never put that together, but you're right.
Yeah.
I literally cannot find my cursor.
You want? We'll have somebody do it while you're doing it. How about that? How about Hadley? Let's get Hadley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My
you do
movie
that.
was Prom Night, and it, of course, had the Scream Queen sensation from 1978, Miss Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
Which I think y'all know that Jamie Lee Curtis achieved Scream Queen phenomenal with Halloween, which led to follow-ups like The Fog, Terror Train, and Prom Night. So I picked Prom Night, because we're all going to be watching all the Halloween movies coming up anyway.
Yeah.
But I felt like this was an interesting choice. I'm sorry. It's kind of silly in some spots. Y'all are going to hear me laugh a lot about this. It wasn't the best of all the slasher films from the 80s, but I will say you can see that it inspired other movies and that there is some inspiration from Halloween. I think that really was involved in this. But it starts off, we've got these little kids, mean kids, are playing a game called The Murderer, and the murderer's going to get you. And of course, one unfortunate child was pushed out the window, and then everyone else like, oh, they're going to put us in jail, so we're going to run off and not tell any of the adults that we just killed this kid. So there we have the premise for the slasher to come back at the end of the movie, which was revenge for the killing of the little girl. So the main kids grow up. They're now in high school. I could not make this work in my head that Jamie Lee Curtis's character was the older sister of the little girl who met her fate at the beginning of the show. It's her and her brother. And then there was the sister who would have been a junior, and it would have been her first prom.
Yeah.
Crazy music there.
Wah, wah, wah.
I know. And I could not make it work. Like, how did their mother have them? Because there's 3 of them. And anyway, so were they twins? I needed more information. In addition to this, Jamie Lee Curtis's character, her father is played by Leslie Nielsen, which just threw me for a loop because
Right?
I know Leslie Nielsen from the Naked Gun series and Airplane.
Surely you can't be serious.
Don't call me Shirley.
So I kept thinking it would be more fun, and it just every time he was on the screen, I was like, just waiting for it, and it just never happened. And so that was a little bit of a problem I had. Then these teenagers all looked like they were 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very disappointing that there was no slashing until this movie was almost over.
Right. Or slick.
Yep.
But it does come on strong when it does get there.
Yeah.
Oh, it does. It does. So, again, prom night is the anniversary of the little girl's death. So there's been an escaped murderer person from the insane asylum, like very Halloween inspired by.
Mm-hmm.
And and this kind of ties into with the little girl. They pinned it on this guy, and they were saying there possibly a sexual assault, which I don't understand why they possibly thought there was a sexual assault.
And they didn't investigate it.
No, I mean, it just did not. There, like I said, y'all, I had some problems. And anyway, so now the kids that were involved in the who pushed Barbara out the window was they're getting phone calls. They're finding their photos have been ripped. Now, I don't even know where the thread is in this, but someone tore my photo out of the yearbook and taped it in my locker. Did y'all notice that? Was kind of crazy. Anyway, so we got the scratches out their name on the yellow pad when they call them and make the crank calls. And let's see.
Creepy
Also, I have to admit, because I will say this, I think that Jamie Lee Curtis has got the most phenomenal body in Hollywood, like since birth, and she probably came out of the womb being a perfect 10, right?
That's because she used probiotics.
But I've got to say, and she's a beautiful woman. Even she looks like a dumbass disco dancing.
Doesn't everyone?
I was gonna say everybody
That was the most hopping dance floor, though. You got to admit that in a high school, that was really hopping.
Yeah, it is.
Well, and then we've got the mean girl Wendy, who's the I guess ringleader of the little kids. She's having a girl fight with Kim, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, because of a boy, of course, the other kid who was there at the murderous event with the child,
Nick.
and she's got this guy Lou, and I don't know. I mean, they just get this guy like out of a dirty white rapist van somewhere and bring him onto set. He goes to prom in jeans, but even better than that, he stops and picks his 2 loser friends to go with him with the girl. And one of them doesn't even, he has a t-shirt on that looks like a tuxedo top. And then in her man in ski mask. So about after you've sacrificed probably 60 to 70 minutes of your time, in comes the man with the ski mask and the murders start. The movie's only like an hour and a half long, so you got a good 20 minutes of killing there. It was, I'm not going to do a spoiler, just in case anybody wants to watch this movie. It is fun to watch. It did have a lot of, like the phone call is very much what inspired that in Scream. Little things like that. So if you're a horror movie fan, you will like it. But guys, I'm so sorry.
Don't be.
No, don't be.
I loved this movie, that and Terror Train. Yes, there was crap galore. I saw so many hints of Carrie in this movie. It wasn't made to be Halloween. This was made to be the second movie at the drive-in theater where everybody, okay, we saw the first movie, let's make out there in the second movie. What I liked about it was you had no idea who the murderer is. They dropped enough clues. The escaped sexual offender, the creepy guy, the groundskeeper that always looked.
Oh, yeah.
Weird.
We're talking about him right in front of him. That guy's creepy. He looks like
I know, right?
I liked the fact that, and when the murders did start, I mean, they were pretty,
Gruesome.
They were gruesome. Plus, they were just unique. I mean, yanking the girl out of the back of the car and slashing her up in front of the boyfriend was like, wow. I loved this movie. Same with Terror Train. I really enjoyed them. Haven't seen this in about 35 years. Brought back fond memories. Thank you.
It's funny to compare this with Terror Train because they came out, I think, one after the other.
Yep.
And I think Terror Train's a better movie, I think.
Much better, you're right.
Yeah. And bigger budget and more people to kill.
Yeah.
This movie was fun, though. Like you were saying, Scott, it brings back a lot of memories, a lot of nostalgia, the era, and it's like a time capsule, This is for you, Hadley. Okay, Wendy, the bad girl, she wrote Twister.
No,
Really?
no.
Yep. Yep.
Huh.
Well, she's a very attractive 40-year-old teenager.
Right? She was married to Michael Crichton, and she wrote Twister. So
I didn't know that. That's
I
good trivia.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. But did the policeman shoot the killer at the end, or was he just pointing his gun? And because the killer got whacked in the head, is why he died?
I don't know. And
I don't know.
I don't know what any. I just got nothing.
I don't know how you survive the whack that she gave him though
She
with
did
an
get
axe. Yeah,
Will it mess up his makeup?
yeah, it sure did.
It did.
That would have caved. It would have stoved his roof right in. I don't know.
And the guy 2 girls were fighting over was no Skarsgård, Hadley.
No, not at all. Like I said, it was a lot of weird going on in this movie, and there were times when Jamie Lee's acting was good, and there were times when it was like you could tell she was not where she wanted to be.
Yeah. What happened to Leslie Nielsen in this? Did his character just kind of disappear?
It just faded out.
Yeah. It wasn't not important.
Wasn't important.
Same with the mom. Her character kind of just
Disappeared too.
Yeah, disappeared. But it was
I got
fun.
questions. Why did he have the makeup on?
Right?
The little girl was like 9. She didn't wear makeup. What the fuck?
It was weird.
Sorry.
Oh man, when
I'm
I was
gonna
a
get
kid,
tickled thinking about it, but
when I was a kid, there was a movie theater down the street from my house. It was in the center of town. and this is going to speak to how old I am, because they used to have triple features for 99 cents.
Wow.
And this movie was one of the triple features.
Wow.
So I wasn't old enough, but they didn't care. You could just walk right in there. So it was fantastic. You got your 99 cents. Yeah, you go whatever you want to do, kid. So I'd like to say that I snuck in, but I didn't really, because they let us all in. But this was a fantastic movie for me, because I saw it with a group of like 15 of my friends, and this was the kind of movie theater where you could throw shit. You're throwing popcorn, freaking full drink cups at the screen, and again, the guy just came by with a broom later, didn't care. So for me, sort of the ambiance of this movie was way better than the movie itself. But I didn't hate it. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's a pretty good movie. I mean, for what it is, it was one of the, I'm not going to say originals, but it was in that era, in the 80s era, where, you know, all those slasher movies came out. That was the big thing. I mean, the past 20 years, the superhero movies. Back then, it was slasher movies. Yeah. And this one was one of the ones that I really liked. Again, this and Terror Train, which came out at more or less the same time. But I enjoy this movie. I'd probably give it like 4.5 stars, just because of the group of friends that I saw it with. We were just a bunch of assholes, just picking on people and throwing stuff, and it was fun.
Oh, we haven't rated our movies tonight. This is the first
one, you're right, yeah.
Are we rating movies, or are we going to rate The Queen?
Oh. Ash mentioned the Park Theater, which was funny because there was a balcony, and nobody would sit underneath the balcony because of what would be dropped on you. You either sat like 10 rows in or 10 rows farther down. Yeah, are we rating the Queens, or are we rating them, or are we rating the movie?
We can rate the Queens.
Okay.
We can rate the Queens.
Oh, if we're rating the Queens, Jamie Lee Curtis gets a 15 out of 10. She's just perfect. She's excellent in all the movies.
Hey, right? She has it in her DNA.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Her mom was the original, scream queen, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, Rich, we got your movie.
All right. Hey, my cursor works.
Before we do Rich's movie, are we going to rate The Howling?
Oh, I'll give
Dee Wallace.
I'll give her a solid 4.5.
Same. I love Dee. I'll give her a 4.5 too.
I'm going to be a little bit more generous. I'm going to give her a 4.8. You know, she does well in the movies, even if the movie's not good.
Right.
And having met her, she's just such a sweet, darling woman. She deserves at least 4.8.
Well, that's good to hear.
I'll go with a 4.
All right.
And that's mainly because I haven't seen a lot of the horror movies she's been in.
Right.
So.
All right. And now, how about Scott's?
All right.
Oh, wait.
I took notes.
All right. I'm going to save yours for last, Rich, because yours is a beloved movie.
All right. This was a movie. It was produced by Roger Corman, which anybody who ever sat through this entire movie, I did twice, will understand. It was directed by and written by Luigi Cozzi and a couple of other guys who, when I looked up their names, don't have any other credits to them. It begins, Starcrash. It begins with a spaceship flying through space. It's piloted by, let me read my notes here. I should have brought my glasses down. It's piloted by Acton. I don't remember the actor who plays it. He is
Marjoe Gortner.
Yes. He is the robot sidekick to Stella Star, who is Carolyn, not Marilyn, Carolyn Munro, and she's like a pretty Indiana Jones. And let's see. They're smuggled, they're fired upon, they're being chased by Thor, who's a completely bald-headed guy, and Elle, a police robot with a southern accent. Never could figure that one out in the movie. They escape. They find a ship. They find a ship. There was only one survivor on the ship. They're like wondering, why is there only one person here? Then they're captured by Thor. So they're taken to prison, And all of a sudden now, from her space outfit during court, there she is. Stella Starr is wearing a black outfit and thigh-high boots. The outfit reminds me probably a little bit more clothing than Vampirella wore. So they're sentenced by the great machine of Central Operating System of Imperial Justice. I'm not making any of this shit up, folks. Acton gets 220 years of hard labor in Seacom III. Stella gets life of hard labor in the penal colony Nocturne III. She gets there wearing the outfit. Everyone else is wearing work clothes. Nope, she's there like she's at a strip club. She complains she's been working hard labor for 12 hours, can't do it anymore, so she organizes an escape. Everybody escapes. After they escape, they're picked up by Chief Thor, and they're picked up by Elle, the robot. They were coming to release her. Why? Because the ship they found belonged to the Emperor. The Emperor had sent it out on a top secret mission. The Emperor is played by Christopher Plummer. I don't know. He needed money for something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope he got a lot for this one. So they decide to... Oh, and Judd Hamilton plays the robot Elle, a robot with a Southern accent in space, like the 25th century. I don't know. So, meanwhile, they're being attacked. They find out that it's the evil Count, Zareth An. Okay? Jim Carrey could have played this guy in a modern movie. This guy is so over the top. Half the movie, he's got his arms over his head. The other half, he's laughing sadistically, like an evil doctor from a Muppet movie. He's the leader of the League of the Dark Worlds.
Ooh.
And he's created a new weapon the size of a planet. What movie came out the year before that with a weapon the size of a planet? I'm starstruck.
That's not a moon.
So let's see. So he uses Thor, Elle, Acton, who just all of a sudden comes back. Nobody knows how he got out of prison. They decide to go and find this ship. What they want to do is find the Emperor's mothership that has all the information on it so they can figure out how to beat it. They get to the planet Aregus, and Elle and Stella land on the surface and find the ship. They also run into a bunch of Amazon women on horseback who later have their own starfighters. But they're captured. Elle is shot. He's destroyed. Elle is shot and destroyed. Stella goes berserk. There's a lot of kicking and punching, a lot of TNA, a lot of boobs and butts flying. She eventually escapes. Oh, no, she doesn't escape. That's right. She gets captured again. Elle comes in and sneaks up and captures the Amazon princess because he's not really dead. Don't know how that happened. So they sneak out. They run across the planet's surface. They get picked up by Thor and Acton, and they're escaping. The Amazon sends, now this is the fun part. The Amazon Queen sends 6 fighters after her. 3 of the fighters are destroyed. Let's see. 3 of the fighters are destroyed. Stella goes, oh, good. 1 has been destroyed. No. So they destroy a whole bunch other, and she goes, yes, we only have 1 left. Then the scene cuts to 3 fighters coming in. They down 5, destroy 2. They eventually get away. So they go to the next solar system to find it's an ice planet. So they go and they leave the ice planet. Again, Stella and Elle go searching the surface. This is when Thor turns on Acton. Thor is actually working for Wrath On. He's a traitor. So he shoots Acton the alien and then locks out Elle and Stella so they die. But Acton, we find out, is an alien who can see the future. So he knew he was going to be shot and faked his own death. So then him and Thor have this big battle. It looks like Acton has a blue lightsaber.
Did we watch the same movie?
I did.
Yours version is so much better than like the 10 minutes that I watched.
Oh, I know. I was writing this for the
I
whole
want to
thing.
watch your movie.
So, anyways, there's this big fight scene that looks like, it's supposedly a big battle. It's supposed to be Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan Kenobi. It looks like two drunken frat boys having a fight in the backyard. Thor is killed. Meanwhile, the ice is closing in. So Allan and Stella lay on the ground. Now, Stella is wearing the perfect outfit for this, a skin-tight small suit, no helmet, no gloves. So they lay on the ground, and Elle holds her hand and says, "My energy will keep you alive." Boom, Acton goes out. He finds them frozen. They bring him in. They bring Stella in. She's a giant icicle. They put her down. They heat her up. The ice melts, and she's sitting there as pretty as can be with perfectly done hair. It's even prettier than before she went out. So, I'm sorry. I'm just doing this for you guys so you don't have to watch the movie. Oh, but the ship's not working. Wait. I wasn't angry. Oh, the ship was not working. Thor couldn't get the ship going. Why? Because Acton stole the battery, which is like about this size. That's what powers the ship, folks.
It's the future.
So he puts it in. The ship works. They go to Demonti to find the third launch. As they're there, they're attacked by these red bubbles. It looks like somebody superimposed a lava lamp over the ship. It's absolute crap. They land on the surface. They're attacked by Neanderthals. They're about to die when all of a sudden the Neanderthals are defeated. Oh, they're defeated. They go into the cave and they find out that, their savior, he takes off his, the outfit he wears, it looks like a cross between like a sun and a lion's mask. You find out it's Prince Simon. What a regal name. Played by David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Again, back to the money.
This movie must have been a hit in Germany. Prince Simon is the Emperor's son. So let's see. So eventually what they do is they decide, I'm skipping over a lot of the crap here. They decide to go, they figure out now, because Prince Simon has the coordinates where Rathon's ship is. So they go to take out Rathon's ship. Thank you. They go to take out Rathon's ship, and this is going to be the cheapest. This is going to be the cheapest Star battle scene. They're shooting at each other with these overimposed lasers. They're shooting 6-foot torpedoes through the good guys are shooting 6-foot torpedoes through the ship. And then when they land inside the enemy ship, guys jump out and they start shooting each other. Bang, 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 bang. Acton isn't there because Acton had died earlier in another scene. I don't even remember it. So they're about to lose. So they're all like, how are we going to defeat the bad guy and save the universe? And the Emperor goes, we will use Starcrash. Dun, 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 dun. Starcrash is pretty much a suicide mission. We're going to take the flying planet, evacuate it, and drive it into the enemy ship. So everybody leaves. They're driving it into the enemy ship. Stella and Al, of course. And, just before they hit, they run and they dive out the door and they fly through space. It hits the Emperor's ship. The Emperor's ship explodes. He's screaming, ah! The universe is safe. They bring them back. Simon and Stella fall in love, kiss each other. Elle looks around like Wookiee Chewbacca. And then it ends with a philosophical note by Christopher Plummer that reads like it was written by a drunk fraternity student trying to figure out his philosophy exam in the last minute. The end.
I want to see the animation version of Scott's.
Sorry, guys. I'm watching that movie last night, and I'm thinking, oh, my God, this is so bad. But I picked it because Caroline Munro is a good actress. Not in this movie. She was in here for TNA only. I wanted to pick a movie that she was well represented in. In most of the other Hammer films, she's like the local bar girl that gets bitten, or one of the vampire brides. The movie I wanted to pick, Captain Kronos, Vampire Killers, wasn't available. So you got stuck with this one. But if
We already did that one too.
Yeah, we did that one.
Oh.
We did
Yeah.
that one.
was I there for that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. It was
Oh,
one of
our
my
vampire-
picks.
It was our vampire week.
So, anyways, if your goal is a good movie, pick anything else on Tubi. If your goal is to watch Cavill and Munro running around in practically nothing, this is the movie for you.
Rich, I'll segue to you, Rich.
This was a terrible movie. It really didn't have a lot of redeeming qualities. Caroline Munro is beautiful. She is, but I don't know that was her voice in this movie. I think they might have dubbed somebody else's voice in there. It just looked off when she was talking. Plus, she's British, and her American accent was perfect. I don't know. It just looked weird. But the special effects in this movie were special. They were just horrible. There was nothing good about it. I mean, at the very beginning, the people on the good guys spaceship are getting killed by these freaking red blobs. I don't know what but
Yeah.
it was just like a color moving around the ship. It wasn't like a blob like the movie The Blob. It was this red circle. It looked like one of the pink elephants from Rudolph. It was crazy. There's one scene when Caroline and Elle are escaping from the Amazons, where they get this big giant friggin' 70-foot robot to check them and try and step on them and just grab them. And it was just so terrible.
Yeah.
Didn't like it. Never gonna watch it again. I had seen bits and pieces of it before, but never the whole movie. And I was sitting there watching it last night, and my kids came in behind me, and they were like, "What the hell is this?" And I was like, "Dude, it's a Scott pick." And my daughter go, "Oh, okay," and she walked to the other room. So this was just so bad.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever gonna watch this. If you were gonna watch it before this, Scott's movie, the one he just did, way better than this thing that I watched last night. That's my couple of pennies anyway.
The acting was better.
Thank you.
Your dramatic performance outshined anything that was done in that movie.
I paid to see this movie. I went to the movie theater to see this movie.
Oh.
And it was horrible. The Italians are really great at stylish space opera. They really are. Planet of the Vampires, Battle Beyond the Stars. They're real stylish. They love their production values. They don't love plots, and they don't love acting. That's the thing, because you can see some cool special effects, not in this movie, but I had a lot of Starlog magazines when I was a teenager that dealt with this movie because they had a lot of photos in it. It's a horrible movie.
It is.
It's a horrible movie. There's only one reason to watch it, and
Two.
and they had the Hoffman, like you said, Christopher Plummer, Marjoe Gortner. Do you remember the '80s movie Earthquake?
Oh, immediately knew it was Earthquake.
He played creepy National Guardsman that captures the lady that Richard Roundtree saves later on. That him and his buddies are shooting everybody, and so and then he kind of disappeared. He was in some B movies around the '80s, but he kind of disappeared. I don't know whatever happened to him.
He had that perm going.
Yeah. Hadley?
I watched about 10 minutes of it. I did think that it was dubbed. That's about Scott's version. Again, much better. I would pay to see the claymation version of this. Narrated by Scott Baker.
Thank you.
So what?
Yeah, it was sucked. It really was. And when I'm watching it, I'm thinking to myself, "Oh my God, this and Thanksgiving, they'll never forgive me."
Nope, I'm out of danger with my movies. Thank God. Since we have you, Scott, I'm okay. So what are we gonna rate? What are we gonna rate?
I'm giving this one a 0.75, and most of that is because I got a crush on Carolyn Munro. So,
Rich?
The film's going to get a 0.5 because it was just terrible. Even Caroline Munro couldn't save this movie. But Caroline Munro is going to get a 4 out of 5 for just the other films that she did. A couple of them were fairly iconic. All of them were pretty bad, but
Yeah.
some of them I did like. So I'll give the movie a 0.5.
Hadley, since you have 10 minutes of it. Wait.
I would probably give it just a 0.5.
That's divided by 10 because she only did 10 minutes.
yeah.
0.05.
As Landa said, no dongs.
No
were
dongs.
given.
No dongs.
No dongs. No dongs were given.
No dongs. I give this one a negative 1 billion. And
You're being kind.
4 for Caroline because she has been some good roles, but this one was not one of them. Rich, go, bro.
All right.
You got a big movie.
All right. Excuse me. All right, so I picked Return of the Living Dead, which is one of my favorite zombie movies.
Yes.
With names like Clu Gallagher, Don Calfa, Jimmy Caron, and Tom Matthews, Return of the Living Dead is the movie that linked zombies to brains. It had never been done before.
Yeah.
Personally, I like my zombies to eat flesh and not just brains, but that's me. Released in 1995, this punks versus zombies flick is also the first zombie movie where zombies can run. I thought that was pretty cool, too. It's also the first one where destroying the brain doesn't kill the zombie. All 3 things right off the bat, brand new, never in a zombie movie before. Of course, it was only 1985, so it's unlikely that any horror fan hasn't seen this film. But if not, I'll give you a brief summation of the plot. I don't want to wreck it for anybody in case you haven't seen it. But if you haven't seen it, you're a straight-up dumbass because this is one of the best zombie movies ever made. So these 2 idiots in a medical storage warehouse release a gas from a misplaced army tank that brings the dead back to life. The dead can talk, plot, and plan, which, again, fantastic, brand new. One of the best scenes in any horror movie history is when the Tar Man, the first real zombie you see, he's the one that comes from the tank. He speaks, and then he tries to use tools, including a chainsaw, to attack and eat the brains of the only non-punk in the group of punks. The gas hits a graveyard, and the dead start to multiply. This is the movie where you see the dead calling an ambulance and the police in order to get them there so that they can eat them. It was just genius. This is also the film where they tie up a dead woman who's mostly a skeleton and ask her about the meaning of death and what drives her. And we find out it's brains. Both scenes are iconic zombie flick scenes.
Yeah.
That's about all I have on the plot. Watch the movie. If you haven't watched the movie, whatever you're doing this weekend, make it one of your Halloween movies because it's great. So John Russo, who parted ways with George Romero after Night of the Living Dead, wrote a book called Return of the Living Dead, upon which this film is based. Fun fact, Russo had the rights to anything with Living Dead in the title, where Romero had the rights to Of the Dead. The toxic gas released is very similar in scientific name to that of Agent Orange. If you look him up, one is dioxin, one is trioxin. It's 2,4,5. It's pretty close. And 2 of the main characters' names in the movie are Bert and Ernie.
I never got that.
Yep. Bert is he's almost the main character, and Ernie is the mortician and across the street. Believe it or not, Roger Ebert gave the film 3 out of 4 stars, and the movie grossed $14.2 million with a budget of only 4, and it still holds a rating of 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. One of the more memorable things about this movie is the punk girl Trash, played by Linnea Quigley. Quigley was born in 1958 and has been screaming in movies since 1975. She's been in more than 125 films, 4 of which are currently in post-production or still filming. She is still making movies.
Wow.
Her breakout film was Return of the Living Dead, and she never looked back. She was completely nude in Return of the Living Dead, and the film was almost given an X rating, not because of her nudity, but because of the length of time of full frontal nudity, which I guess back then they had a lot different criteria than they do now.
Who timed that?
I don't know. I would have timed it because it's a great scene. I would have timed it. Quigley praises the nudity she did in films, stating the body is something that nobody should be ashamed of. She was in such gems as Summer Camp, Silent Night, Deadly Night, creepazoids, sorority babes in the slime ball bolorama, and Hollywood chainsaw hookers. Actually, if you do a search for her on IMDb, you will come across some really interesting movie names. She has been around forever. She does all kinds of PETA charities, where some of the time she's a vegetarian, so she'll dress up, and she's one of the lettuce ladies. She'll dress up in only lettuce, I guess, when she goes to a lot of these cons.
That's one.
Stuff. Yeah, a little weird, but hey, whatever floats your boat. So, Return of the Living Dead is one of my all-time favorite zombie movies. It's so great. The acting is perfect. It's so dumb, the over the top. So many iconic things happen in this movie, and I know all you guys are gonna love it. So, what did you think?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna do the comments. It's not my favorite zombie. One of my favorite.
Damn you, Gamboa!
It is not. I hate that they talk. I hate that they can operate stuff. I hate that. Now, on the flip side, I did enjoy parts of it. The characters, the end, I was okay, but I've said this before. I'm not a nihilistic person. As far as I hate nihilistic stories, and this one is nihilistic.
Yeah,
So, the actors are all great in it. Clue Gallagher, I've always been a big fan of his. Linnea Quigley's great. I just didn't like this movie as much as a lot of.
I don't.
So I'm not a big fan of this movie. I appreciate what it's done for the zombie genre. I can respect that, but I'm just not a fan of it. Sorry. Scott.
Okay, buddy.
I love this movie. I love this movie. To me, it revived the zombie genre.
It did.
It was dead. It was dying. And this was just the whole concept that it wasn't so much the biting, it was just the ashes. When Clue Gallagher and the German guy, and have you noticed there's a picture of Ava Brown on the wall in the morgue? When they throw it and they burn all the ashes, and the ashes go up and the rain hits and they come down in the cemetery and all the dead come to life. Brilliant. I mean, it was so different. The fact that they could talk, I love, like you were saying, I love the scenes of when they're out there, send more paramedics. I think it was a great movie. The scene with Linnea Quigley is great. I mean, the fact that she talks about her biggest fear is to being fondled by all these old guys. And how does she die? She's fondled and eaten by all these guys. And I love the fact the government screwed this one up. They lost a container that creates zombies, and nobody knows where it is. They got a hotline number on it. And they got some poor guy walking around. I'm home. Call me if you find it. It was a good movie. The characters were fun. The German Moore guy was just an absolute riot. Clue Gallagher was great. The two guys that set it off, I thought they did a great job going into rigor mortis while still alive.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, that was just, you said John Russo wrote this?
He wrote the book that
he wrote the book.
On. Yeah.
Okay.
And the book's not like this either.
Huh?
What's that?
The book is nothing like the movie at all.
Really?
Yeah. No, it's not. I used to have a copy. I gave it away, I think, to somebody. But yeah, no, it's nothing like the movie. I was hoping it would be, Yeah. It's straight up like Night of the Living Dead, basically.
Me being dirty? Never. No, I think it's a great movie. It would probably be in my top 10 zombie films, but definitely one of those that, every once in a while there's a movie that just sort of revives the genre. This one was it.
Yeah, it was. That's what I respect about it.
Yeah.
And the guys behind Alien produced this thing, or wrote it, produced it.
That's right.
Can't think of the other guy's name. So
O'Bannon and
Yeah, O'Bannon's a legend.
Dan
Yeah.
O'Bannon. Yeah.
Hadley,
It's a fun movie. It's funny at the same time. There's some terrifying parts in it.
Hmm.
You know, it's a great staple for zombie fiction fans or zombie fans. Anybody who likes zombies is going to enjoy it. They have little details like the dog, well, except Allan, but just remember, hobo with a shotgun.
now, there's parts of this I liked, but it's just not in my top 10 movies at all.
It's not your flavor, I get it, but I mean, it was a good pick. And Linnea Quigley, my gosh, she's got the resume for all these roles that pretty much, I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis might be better known, but she hasn't been in half the films.
No.
So, yeah, it had a phenomenal scene starring our Scream Queen, and it was a great pick for the week, and I love the scene with the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
The half
The half dog.
Yeah, I mean, that was just one of those little things. It's a different kind of zombie apocalypse.
And the way the three of them were reacting was so realistic. You know,
Well,
you
they
got
made them film.
the corpse came to life, the skeletons are dancing, the half dog is like yipping and trying to walk around, and these guys are freaking out. I would be.
Yeah, for me, it's something that I identify more with when I think of zombie apocalypse.
Mhm.
Sorry, Allan.
No, that's okay. That's what it's not a bad movie. I just didn't like the nihilism of it. You know, I enjoy Return of the Living Dead 2 because it's more of a comedy. You throw stones at me, folks. That's fine.
I thought this one was a comedy too. I mean,
It
there's
is.
a lot of funny stuff in here.
It is. It is, but just I guess the ending I don't like, and I don't like talking zombies. Something about that. You know, I don't know what it is.
It wouldn't. Talking zombies will not work in any other movie. This one, because of the way it was written, they worked.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
I
it's
agree.
a bad movie, and you're right. It did revive the genre because I remember I went to the movies to see it, and you know I was like, "Cool zombies," you know. So I'm glad. I respect this movie. That's what I'm saying. I just not one of my favorites.
Mhm.
Are we cool? Are we all cool?
Oh, yeah.
We still love you,
Good,
Allan.
buddy.
We still love you.
Do you still love me after Starcrash?
Of course.
Then we're cool.
Only because of your phenomenal synopsis of the
Thank
plot.
you.
Yeah.
That was definitely your longest.
Thank you. It was, yeah.
You should have changed costumes. That would have been cool. You should have had costumes laid out for this.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Except I was not going to dress up like Stella Star. Sorry.
Well, I would have given a solid 5 for me. That had the little girl zombie talk. Yeah. I don't think they knew what they were going for in that first movie because what were they called? Ghouls in Night of the Living Dead?
Mhm.
That was the original title.
Yeah.
Night of the Ghouls.
The ghouls. So I don't think, and they were using tools too in that one.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. She killed her mom with the trowel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were hitting the truck and stuff, right? Using bricks, rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they were Romero was finding his way, and he had Russo with him too. So yeah. But you know, I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry.
It's all right, man.
So what do we give the movie in Quigley?
Oh, as a Scream Queen, she's number one. She's hard to beat. So I'm going to give her a 5, just for what she is. I mean, she's no Jamie Lee Curtis insofar as acting,
Right.
but for the movies that she did, most of which were, of course, terrible. She got a lot of screaming. She did a lot of screaming. But the film, I'm giving 5 to the film. Go ahead, Hadley. What were you going to say?
I was gonna say, but don't you think that part of being a Scream Queen is it being a B movie Scream Queen?
Oh yeah, of course,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I'll give her a 4.5. I give the movie a 4.5. I love it.
5.
Yeah.
5.
What'd you give it, Scott?
5 for Quigley, 5 for the movie.
All right, Allan, what are you going to give it?
I'll give her a 4, a solid 4, and I'll give Return of the Living Dead a 3.
Fair enough.
I mean, the production, everything were great. It just
You never live in this town, buddy.
next book I write, everybody's gonna die.
Look at Mike Lewis. 9.
Kill everybody in it. Next book I write,
5 dongs.
$5.
The movie gets a 3, Ash? Oh, come on. What do you know? You married my sister. What do you know?
Good
My
pitch.
sister is watching this right now. I'm going to get a really dirty text in about 2 minutes.
So that was pretty fun with those.
It was.
It was. I enjoyed it a lot. We had a good crew tonight too. All the folks were here.
Yeah.
I can't.
Except for Jen Salmons, I can't catch
Oh,
up with
that's
her.
right. Where's Jen?
That's why there were not dongs flying through the chat.
Oh, see, I
I
can't.
don't know. Londa kind of took over that a bit.
Yeah, see, I can't. On my phone, I got to go to the screen. I can't see you guys. So I can't see the messages. So
Well, we've had a great chat tonight. It's
Yeah.
been fun, folks.
Mhm.
I've laughed out loud a couple of times at some of the stuff that Ash has said.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Question for Rich. Max says, "What is that picture of that woman to
That's-
your left?"
That's Linnea Quigley.
Ah. Boo to the haters. Oh, he put an S on there. Thanks, Mike, for disguising.
There's Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Hey, Laura.
Hey, Laura.
Jen is the queen
Jen
of
is the
dogs.
queen.
Oh, Jen now has
The
a new
dong
nickname.
queens.
And it took over dong duty.
Duty. She passed the dong.
Boy.
Oh.
So what are we doing next week? My computer's down. I don't have it written down. Do you, Hadley, you have it?
We're going into October, and I got to pick the October topic. So we're going to have a Halloween theme. And next Thursday, oh, wait. Is it next Thursday that we're doing? Yeah, let me see.
Witchy women.
Exactly.
Oh, witchy.
Double toil and trouble, witchy women. So we're going to do Stardust, Hocus Pocus, Black Death, and The Last Witch Hunter.
Wow.
Uh-oh. Who's in The Last Witch Hunter?
It's Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel, okay.
It's all about family, man. Which one did I pick? Did I pick?
You picked, hold on, let me see. You picked you picked Black Death with Sean Bean.
Oh, okay, good.
Scott got Hocus Pocus and I got Stardust.
Good. Nice.
There were at least 3, Mike. It may have been a 4th one. I don't know.
So who all has seen Stardust? Because I'm excited for y'all to see it if you haven't.
I've never seen it.
I saw it a while back when it first came to cable, I think.
I'm gonna need to see it to remember it. If it's got witches in it, it's unlikely that I missed it, but it does not sound familiar. Who's in it, Hadley?
It has got Claire Danes, Michelle Pfeiffer, Rupert Everett. Is that his last name?
Yep.
It's got, I can't think of the male lead's name, but it also has Robert De Niro in it playing a pirate, which is one of the best roles I've ever seen him play.
I have seen it.
Yeah.
I have seen it.
Londa,
I believe it is based on a Neil Gaiman book.
Yeah, I think so.
Londa, you have to see Hocus Pocus. It's a classic.
It is. I love it.
They've got the second one.
I haven't seen Hocus Pocus either, so
Really? Oh,
I haven't seen it either. So
you got better.
It's.
well, we're gonna have a fun. It'll be good to get into the Halloween spirit. So
definitely.
Hocus Pocus is like a young adults movie.
Yeah.
But I like it because I'm ridiculously immature anyway. But this, I think you'll like it. I do.
No, Mike, we never figured out what killed Wile E. Coyote. We were looking, but nope.
He was a super genius.
There was an anvil laying around somewhere, but it's Neil Gaiman. Yeah.
What's really sad is that a coyote in real life can outrun a roadrunner.
This one didn't.
No. And like I was shocked as a kid when I became an adult and realized Acme used to be a real company.
I love those old cartoons.
Oh, I do.
They're hilarious.
Well, David, that's a good question. It's all in my head. I have not written it. I've got the book that I hate that I've got to publish first.
Yeah.
That will never finish. I'm like 97%
No, Mike.
done except for the ending, and I can't figure it out.
No. Walk away for 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah. But make sure it's only 2 days. Don't let it stretch into a month or.
Yeah, that's kind of what has happened. I've done a little bit here and there, but yeah, it's I'll do that, Scott. That'd probably help.
Yeah.
I finished David's book. It was great.
I'm almost there.
The first one or the second one?
First one.
Hadley.
Oh.
Yeah, it's great. It is.
I'm almost at the end of the series, or that series.
I still have to. I'm in the middle of Hadley's first book now. I got to read her second book, and then I have to do David's book.
Yeah, David. Yeah, Hadley. Have you that short story you wrote? What are you doing with that?
Well, I don't know. I wrote it for Horror Writers Inc., but it didn't like anything's going to happen with it. So
Yeah, I don't know what went on with that.
Yeah, I know.
You need to shop it around though, then, because that's a good story.
Yeah, it is.
I've been wanting to write some more with those characters.
That's a good world. It's a good world. Good basis of what you did. Sorry, I don't mean to keep everybody out of that, but it's a good short story that she wrote. So you should check it out, Hadley. You should throw it out there.
I might do it as a freebie thing.
Do it as a book funnel thing.
Yeah.
I might do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how the book funnel thing works, Scott, so I might have to catch up with you with that.
Okay. I'm still trying to relearn it.
You get a funnel and you take the book and you just shove it.
Awesome. Look forward to it, David. You know how to get in touch with me. Oh, Laura. Laura writes on Wattpad.
Not bad.
That's a pretty active little place too.
Yeah, I used to put stuff on Wattpad, but
They say it's a good place to get readers or find readers. So. Well, and let us not let the night go by and not give all of our love and support and prayers toward the folks in Florida.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah. Anybody in the chat from Florida? Anybody down there right now?
Jennifer Salmon's best friend lives there. They're all fine.
My cousin moved to Florida about 6 months ago. I texted him this morning, haven't heard back. But that could very well just be because he lost power.
Yeah.
He lives in a high rise. He lives in a high rise on the coast. So
Jail Bourne lives on the other side of Florida, right?
Yeah.
He lives on the Texas side, and
the
I think
Panhandle.
Derek Schubert's down there, isn't he? I think he is.
Is he down there in Texas? I forgot.
I can't remember.
It's
There's a few people. Jonathan Kenneth, I don't know if you know him. He's down there. He said he was good today. So
Eric Shellman, but he's in Italy.
right.
So he just gets to watch it through his Ring app.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I saw some pictures.
Yeah. So, and David Salkin, I think he lives there. Yeah, that's right. And he's back over there. If you know David Salkin, he's another writer. So, yeah, it's horrible,
Yeah. Hope everybody's okay.
Well, I visited Fort Myers several years ago, did a convention there, and looking at the photographs today, it was just heartbreaking.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's just gone. Yeah,
You know,
it's
the
crazy.
images of the boats stacked up on top of each
That's
other
good,
at the
Tony.
pier.
See
I'm
what
glad.
Tony said? He said, my children and grandchildren
Tony.
are there and safe. It bypassed Jacksonville. That's awesome, Tony.
Good,
Yeah.
Tony.
This is great. Have y'all seen photos of was it the island Sensible or
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
been incredible. I was watching a video earlier of a time lapse of when the I guess the what do they call it? The waves came through the whole island.
Yeah, that's
It's,
I
terrible.
can't think of what it's called. I'm sorry.
Surge?
Yeah,
Storm
storm
surge?
surge. Yeah.
yeah,
But it was tough. I mean, I feel for all those folks down there. It's gonna, especially in these times, people just
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Craig Ansel was down like in Orlando, and I saw that he posted earlier, and he was responding to one of the other beards, Christopher. So, I think they're fine. They were saying that the Waffle House a town over was open. So,
You
but
know, they're okay when the Waffle House is open.
oh yeah, well they had closed the Waffle House somewhere in Florida, and we were all talking about, oh, well, I mean, hell's about to freeze over. So,
Yeah, that's just horrible.
yeah. My old coworker lives outside of Sarasota, and all her family was at her house. She said that she was the only one that wasn't was not in an evacuation zone. So they're all doing good.
Yeah, a couple of my friends from high school posted that they're okay. So I'm hoping everybody's all right. I know there have been some deaths. I just guess we have to tally that later.
Yeah, but I think most of those were on the coastal community.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially that one where it came ashore. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, we don't have Waffle Houses out here.
No, unfortunately, we don't either.
The awful.
Do you have waffles?
Closest we got is Denny's.
Oh gosh, I remember
Yes.
when Christmas we went up to, I guess, Toronto, and I had ordered. We stopped in Ohio, and I ordered grits for breakfast, and they don't have grits.
We have IHOPs.
Yeah, we have IHOPs too.
Yeah, but they're no Waffle House.
See, but
That's one of the few things I miss about living in Florida is Waffle House.
Waffle House. See, we were going to go, but to the Waffle House there in Nashville, but we went to the Sun Records Cafe instead, which is down there in downtown Nashville, and really good chicken and waffles. I took Joe Hansen and Jill with us and treated them to chicken and waffles. We never had that before, and that was delicious, man. They made the best chicken and waffles from my limited.
And what's best is like if you're on the road at 2 a.m. and you just want something, you stop by and get the biscuits and gravy or some pancakes. Oh,
yeah, we used to go to Denny's. That would be our after work. Go to Denny's. We never had anything there in Crescent City that was like.
It's 11:17, and now I want breakfast. Shut up, all of you. Jesus. Right? Exactly. Look at Laura. She wants waffles.
She wants to drive an hour to the Waffle House.
No.
So I'm curious what everybody is reading and watching, and what do I need to be on the lookout for?
Oh.
Well, I'm reading a book by Hadley Thorne right now. I'm about halfway through the first one. I got the second one to go. I just started a show the other day called The Imperfects on Netflix. It's about this doctor that does experiments on kids, and then the kids grow up and they're starting to get these powers. Now they're trying to track the doctor down. So it's pretty good.
Wow. I've been watching Andor, which I really actually like. It's
good.
Not a fast pace, but it's really character building, and the cinematography is awesome. So I really like Andor right now, and I've been reading David Muga's book. I'm almost done with it. I'm almost done with yours, Scott. And then I got to Hadley's. Rich needs to write something I can read.
Oh, I got something coming out maybe in 6 months. I just started a story day before yesterday. It's for an aquatic horror anthology. So it's interesting.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I'd like to read that.
Yeah, it could be good.
Mike Lewis still likes She-Hulk. I'm trying to get my wife to watch it, but she's just adamantly not.
It is honestly not terrible. It's I had my reservations, but it's pretty good. I mean, it's not great, but it's I like her. I like the character. And
when you say a Marvel movie is not terrible, it's terrible.
No, it's a TV show, and she's a fourth wall breaker, so she's constantly talking to us.
Right.
I like that. I'm a huge fan of the Deadpool films, and it's okay. Like I said, it's definitely not going to win any awards in the Marvel arena, but it's worth seeing.
Well, I've been watching SEAL Team. SEAL Team. Love that show on CBS.
Yeah, now I know what you mean. Yeah,
I like the one that was on like AMC or Bravo.
Yeah.
That one, it kind of went off, but it was really good.
Yeah, this one's a little different, you know. If you're a fan of David Boreanaz, is that how you pronounce his name?
Yep.
Yeah.
Angel.
He plays about the same characters he played in Bones, and you know, but the other characters are pretty good too. So I don't know. To me, I really like it, and I don't know anyone else that watched.
I'm hurt, Tony. I'm hurt.
God,
I watched Beast with Idris Elba.
How
over
is
the
that?
weekend. Do you really want to know?
I love the
actually,
concept, and I love Elba.
Well, there were some issues, and I'm just gonna tell you what they were, because it's worth watching if you like that kind of movie, and I do, so I watched it. But there was a couple of times I was like, "Hello, who made this movie?" So, okay, the great white guy is the hunter. He's out. The lion's going crazy and it's like eating all the people. And so he's going to hunt it down. And so he goes like close to the watering hole. And there's like 3 crocodiles, you know, pretty average sized crocodile in Africa is like, 14 feet? And they slide off into the water because they don't want to be disturbed by him while he's hunting the lion. Well, the next thing you know, he's been mauled by the lion and he's dying and he's like 2 feet from the freaking water. And I'm like, no, you're from Africa. You should know better.
is the hunter Charlito Copley?
Charlotte Copley. Yes, it is. Yeah.
I'll watch anything.
Copley. Yeah, he's awesome. I agree.
Yeah.
Especially after the A-Team. It's just
Yeah.
great.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the next thing you know, Idris Elba is trying to avoid being stalked by the lion, and he is a like surgeon from New York City, so he obviously doesn't know better. But he's dripping blood everywhere, and oh wait, there's the perfect place to hide in the water with the crocodiles. and I was like, just waiting for the jump scare. Never happened. It was like they totally forgot. Oh, crocodiles eat people. So
Yeah.
that was my big issue with it. But I enjoyed the movie. It was pretty good.
I heard it was pretty uneven. You know.
Great, Max.
Yeah, District 9 was great.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I saw him in, actually.
Yeah, me too.
He was
Hey,
in Elysium as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Hadley, did he punch the lion?
Oh, he was trying to save his life. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't like Sylvester Stallone was trying to bitch punch the lion. No, it was somebody who was flailing around trying to get free, which I could see
Right.
somebody doing.
Right. You should have done a Three Stooges and woo, woo, in his eye.
Should have done something.
I'll watch it when it comes out. Definitely.
I mean, I'm just watching crappy movies on Tubi. I watched The Munsters last night to see what it was like. It's not as good as the Addams Family movies with Raul Julia and
Houston, Angelica
Houston. I was thinking
You'll
of
be
Olivia
doing that
Hutt.
too.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as good as that, but it's fun. And I give the 3 main characters credit. They do an excellent job trying to channel the original actors.
Yeah.
I never liked the Monsters.
I saw like a show about the AMC Plus Vampire Lestat interview with the vampire that they're doing.
Oh, yes. That's coming out October 2nd. Yeah.
And I know y'all have heard me because I was really, really concerned about what they were going to do, because the lead actor is African American, and in the books, he was a slave owner in the 1800s. And what they've done is they've skipped it forward, and they're setting the interview in the 1920s.
Oh, that's cool.
So it looks like it's going to be really good. I'm really excited about it. They also bought all of the Anne Rice books, so they're going to do like the Witches next year, which I don't know if y'all read her Witches series, but it was phenomenal. I highly recommend it if you're into that sort of thing. They were my favorites, and I think that a lot of people really liked them. So, which I will say, my books have been compared to the Witches. So,
yeah, you're next on I've read Allan's books. I've read the first the Run series by Rich. Finished off another series I really liked. Now I'm jumped into history for a while. I'm reading Operation Mincemeat since I watched the movie last week. And tomorrow I'm getting in the book about the 5 women who were killed by Jack the Ripper. In-depth study of them. So
Nice. Hey, I got to tell you, I watched The Invitation. It's a new movie out.
mm-hmm.
And have you seen it yet, Rich?
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
Well, that was pretty good. I love her. I think she's fantastic.
Oh, she was good.
The guy that played the. Does everybody know what it's about? I don't know if we should say.
No, I've never even heard of it.
It's a vampire movie, isn't it?
Yeah. The guy that plays the lead vampires, he's pretty good. He's all right. Definitely didn't see what was coming. I mean, that was I didn't know who they were, but I know that the older couple that she meets in the town, those are the Harkers, and they were part of the Dracula story, so it kind of all ties in.
Yeah, I like
that. Good. It was actually I enjoyed it. It's a movie that I will watch again to catch stuff that I missed.
I didn't see that coming. The what it was, vampire. Because you thought it could be demons, could be because Sean Pertwee would recite something in Latin when people were getting attacked. So I thought, is it demons? Is it anything with Sean Pertwee? That wasn't a bad flick. I recommend
it's good.
You get a chance to watch The Invitation, watch it. Definitely. Good Halloween. A Transpire. Asshole was asking us to do Bigfoot movies, Hadley.
No. We need to have some cryptid movies sometime, but I think it should be cryptid, not Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird show. We were all
so like, I didn't want to do the Bigfoot show.
Yeah. It's hard to find a good Bigfoot movie.
It's hard to find good werewolf movies.
Yeah, true.
It's I don't know if y'all watched Face Off, but I know they can do the makeup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So
for sure. Yeah.
you would think they would do better with some of these movies, but
well, you know what? They show too much of the suit. That's what the problem is with some of these is they show too much of the suit.
mm-hmm.
You got to kind of keep it shadowy and
because the Howling.
Yeah, like the Howling.
Well, I'm one of those people, and we've talked about this before, that a lot of, for me, is suspense and not knowing. I don't have to see it to be scared. I'm going to be more afraid if I can't see it.
Right. Exactly. I think you are more afraid when you don't know what's going on. I think, or even better, you do know what's going on, but you can't focus on it, and that's pretty terrifying. Have you guys seen that? It's a pretty bad movie, but I love it just the same. It's called Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman.
Oh my God, I love that movie.
That has the best werewolf. That werewolf is just big, muscly, and with the freaking claws. Oh, it was fantastic.
Well, what do you think of the werewolves in the what's that with Kate Beckinsale? What's that series? Underworld.
Oh, Underworld. Also pretty good. Not as good as the Howling, but still muscular and hulky and stuff. And I thought they were okay.
We need to do a movies that I can't believe we haven't done movies night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I can't believe none of us have done any of the Riddick movies.
Oh yeah.
And the Underworld movies, and the first Underworld is one of my favorites. Blade is one of my favorites. I can't believe I hadn't done these.
Well, that's something we're gonna have to do after Halloween.
Oh, yes.
Sounds good.
The one thing about Van Helsing, I love the special effects. I thought Frankenstein were great. The brides were great. The werewolves were great. But it's like they used up all their budget. The animation for Dracula in those last few scenes was so bad.
Computer claymation.
Yeah.
And Mike asked me a question. How much fun is Typhoon Fred? Typhoon Fred drove me insane today. I tried to sit with him on the front porch. He kept on running into the back. So I set up the pen out and back. I spent 30 minutes setting that up, not writing. Put him in the pen. He whined. So I put Roxy in the pen with him. I'll post the picture later of the dirty looks I got. So then they tried to dig their way out.
Oh.
Then he gets into the house. He's chasing the cats all over the place. I mean, I'm telling you, it's like, no wonder when he goes to bed at night, he just like falls over and falls asleep. But I love him. Don't get me wrong. I love him. He's great. So
You didn't subject the poor pup to Starcrash, did you?
No,
he might be damaged.
That's what
I heard that, Mike. I don't think they should. Do you guys remember the Blade television series they tried?
Yeah, I never watched it.
I did. The actor I don't remember the actor who played him. He did a good job, but he's not Wesley Snipes.
Thank you.
And I don't even think Wesley Snipes can make movies since he made Blade. Everything just falls short.
Oh,
he got in a little legal trouble.
Yeah.
Now you're right.
He's not in legal trouble for that. There's a lot of people in Washington that aren't paying taxes that aren't in legal trouble.
Now, Tony said Dog Soldiers, they showed the entire werewolf throughout most of the film and it looked great, so they can do it. Yeah, they can. It's just getting the right person to do it, I guess. Because Dog Soldier, that was excellent.
It's got to be something they're doing in the editing of it.
Yeah, it's got to be because they're just not scary.
I haven't seen Dog Soldiers. I need to watch it.
Oh, you haven't?
It's a good flick.
Oh, go right now. Go right now and watch Dog Soldier. Go watch. It'll be one of your favorite werewolf movies. I guarantee that.
Well, I watched some Chinese movie that was really good. I can't think of the name of it, but it had kind of werewolfy-like creatures. That was pretty good. I'm sure I told y'all about it when I watched it.
Another Star Trek reboot?
I think Tarantino's they got a script by Tarantino, I think, or he's directing it.
What? Star Trek?
Star Trek?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I don't even know that I want to see that.
No, it might be cool though.
Just
Should be a lot of blood.
Phaser.
I know.
Give me something original.
Yeah, but Tarantino, a script by Tarantino.
Set phasers on destroy.
Kill them all.
The Vulcan neck grip will snap the neck.
The soundtrack will be awesome.
Beam him into the planet's surface.
Hey, I got a split, folks.
All right, yeah, me too.
Same. It was great, guys.
Great seeing you all. Great to the cast. To all the fans who are here, we appreciate it.
Yes. Hope you
have a good night.
Yes.
Y'all stay safe out there and make good choices, and we will see you same time next week.
And if you make bad choices, tell us about it.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say that. Ciao.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.